to the cloud. Okay. So we will discuss about Power BI architecture today. Okay. How do I write? Either whiteboard, either idantena. On screen రాయలేమా? On screen రాయగలిగారా? Recording. Whiteboard అంటే అది ఒకటే వస్తుంది అనుకుంటా. Cancel. ఓకే ఫైన్. అది whiteboard లో చేసిన. ఇప్పుడు ఈ ప్రెజెంటేషన్ చూపించాలిగా.
ప్రెజెంటేషన్ మీదే రాశారు కదా
ప్రెజెంటేషన్ ఎప్పుడు రాయాలి?
ఒకసారి ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ అట్లే ఉంచు, నేను స్క్రీన్ షాట్ తీసుకుని ప్రింట్ తీసుకుంటా ఇంట్లో.
సరే ఒక నిమిషం, ఇది ఫుల్ స్క్రీన్ చేస్తున్నావు. ఓకే కొంచెం వచ్చినా రైట్. ఓకే ఓకే, so we'll start. So more or less any BI tool will have the same architecture with small differences. Okay. If you see to the left side in the green area, where you see develop. Okay. Back to escape. Yeah. So where you see there are three areas. See, one is develop, which is in green. One is publish, the central area, and one is access. If you see in the down, there is data sources area. Okay. In any BI tool, not just this one, one has to develop the report. Okay. So for that, people might, the technology will have some kind of development tools. Okay. So that is in Power BI, it is Power BI desktop. You can see this. Okay. And also we can actually not with full features, but at least with 50% of the features, we can still develop the Power BI report on the direct service itself. Okay. So once anyone develops the Power BI report, then they have to host it somewhere. Then only someone can share the report with anyone. As long as this is in desktop, it's in their own machine, right? So it cannot be shareable. So there are two places where someone can host this. When we say host, so it's a centralized repository location where everyone can access actually. Okay. There are two like that. One is Power BI service and one is Power BI report server. Okay. So when it comes to Power BI report server, it's actually on-prem implementation. Like there will be a server in the our infrastructure, and it will be installed on that, and from that physical machine, everyone can access the reports. Okay. The most prominent and which everyone uses is, which is latest, previously it was Power BI server, is a Power BI service. This is completely on the cloud. So once development is done, that file, that PBIX file, the extension of that file is called PBIX. Okay. So that Power BI file is the configuration file it has information. Where is the bar chart? Where is the pie chart? Where is the selector? What data sources? All that metadata is in that file as an XML format. Okay, so that will be pushed to Power BI service or here. So that process is called publish. So it's regular terminology. In the news, what do we say? We'll subscribe and we'll publish. No? Same like that. We'll once publish here, then it will be accessible to anyone. Okay. So when it's coming to Power BI service, there are two more things. The Power BI service, which is online repository location, can be based on two things. One is My Workspace, one is Shared Workspace. So My Workspace is free. Basically, you can't share any reports on My Workspace to any of your friends or anyone in the organization. It's only your own reports. So you cannot share the reports which are in the My Workspace. But still, the only difference between the desktop and My Workspace is this you can access via browser. This you can access via your mobile, and the UI will be more cleaner, unlike a developer desktop point of view. Okay, that's the only difference. But when it comes to shared workspace, this is where generally we'll publish, so that we'll give access to all other users in the company. There are three types of things. So this shared workspace has to be powered by some capacity. Same like in Power BI report server, we have some kind of RAM and some kind of machine, some kind of hard disk, right? In the same way on the cloud also, so they have to charge us, right? So there are multiple kinds of ways how they charge us. One is premium, which is more costly. One is embedded. This is for kind of small loads where if someone wants to embed small reports onto their websites, or it can be free workspace also. But this free workspace is limited with 1 GB size of data and all other more restrictions. What can be done with the reports? Okay. So basically, once we host, then the people can access this either using mobile or either using browser. Okay. So specifically, reports are developed for mobile layout, iPad layout, and web layout, something like that. Okay. So this comes to access. Again, access can be detailed, like in this shared workspace, only one report can be accessible to one person, or a person can edit the report or just the view report. All those kinds of access privileges can be maintained. Okay. So then comes to the data. So when it comes to data, there can be two kinds of data. Like one is on-prem database, one is cloud database. Cloud database is like can be Microsoft Azure or AWS or Google. All these databases are already in the cloud, so they are reachable via browser. Okay, or maybe something like on-prem SQL server that is not on the cloud. Okay, so whatever the database is, basically that connection is needed in during the development, without which you can't develop the report, because you have to see the data and you have to see what's going on and what is the graph you have to build. Once you build and publish to workspace also, why the users is accessing basically for the data, right? So users are accessing the data within a view of a report. The report is kind of a configuration. So they are this is the data flow. So this data is being accessed by users in perspective of these reports. These reports are actually published reports, production reports. And this report is published by a developer. And during the development, he again uses the same data. Okay. So here, one thing to be noted is gateway. So for Power BI service, it's on cloud. Any any cloud databases, data sources, it's seamless. So it's just a link. Azure SQL or AWS SQL, Google SQL, any SQL, it will be accessible via internet. So there is no extra setup is needed if the data sources are cloud sources. But when it's an on-prem source, most of the generally still not all the companies have gone to cloud, right? So still this is half of the infrastructure is like this. At that time, how Power BI on service cloud access to this database? It cannot, right? So there is a software called Power BI Gateway that will be installed on the on-prem server. So this will expose this database to the Azure accounts. So this has to be installed for the on-prem server to be able to accessible via service. Otherwise, even though when you publish this report on here, it can only, the user can only see the data of the initial data, but he can't refresh the data. In order for him to refresh the data, he needs to have this gateway. So once the report is published and the users are accessing the reports, so every day or couple of times a day, data has to be refreshed in the dashboard. Then otherwise it's static, right? So that will be scheduled and the user will be accessing via that. Any questions here?
No.
You? No? Okay. Anyone else? No one has questions, right? లేదే 15 minutes అయిపోద్ది అనుకోలేదు గంట ప్రిపరేషన్ ఇది తొందరగా అయిపోయింది ఓకే so this is what I planned for today actually. So if you have anything to discuss, we'll continue. Naresh, నీకేం క్వశ్చన్స్ లేవారా?
యాక్చువల్లీ నర్సలేడు, అందుకే క్వశ్చన్స్ లేవు.
వాళ్ళు లేడా?
లేడన్నయ్య. ఆగే అడుగుతాను ఒక్కసారి.
ఓకే అక్క, నీకేమైనా క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉన్నాయా?
అంటే
ఏమర్థం కాలేదు.
క్లాసెస్ సరిగా వినలేదు కదా, అందుకే క్వశ్చన్లు అడిగే రేంజ్ కి రాలేదు. ఇంకా నేను వింటున్నా.
ఓకే 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 కళ్యాణ్
ఒకసారి చెప్తే మరి.
ఇది నాకు ఒక క్వశ్చన్. ఈ పవర్ బిఐ రిపోర్ట్ సర్వర్ ఎక్కడ అసలు అంటే ఎక్కడ రన్ అవుతుంది అది?
ఆన్ ప్రెమ్ రా, ఆన్ ఏ మెషిన్ లైక్ ఏ సిపియు.
ఇప్పుడు మనం పవర్ బిఐ డెస్క్టాప్ లో రిపోర్ట్స్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం. ఓకే, పవర్ బిఐ రిపోర్ట్ సర్వర్ ని ఎప్పుడు యాక్సెస్ చేస్తుంది అది?
See, report server as well as Power BI service, these both are hosting devices. You develop your site, okay? But you can't give access to that site from your local machine, right? Generally, you host that on GoDaddy or somewhere, right? So for anyone to access something, there should be a centralized repository, right? That is what these two things. Either it can be on the cloud, which is called as Power BI service. Either it can be on local machine on your company, on the network where everyone can access this.
ఓకే, అంటే పవర్ బిఐ రిపోర్ట్ సర్వర్ అంటే ఎనీ లైక్ యూనిక్స్ మెషిన్ లైనక్స్ మెషిన్ సంథింగ్.
Exactly.
అంతే కదా?
Exactly. But they will install their software, Power BI software in that. So they maintain that server. The licensing will be based on the RAM and CPU of that server.
ఓకే, అంటే ఇప్పుడు నేను సపోజ్ ఒక యూనిక్స్ మెషిన్ తీసుకొని ఇది
If you
పవర్ బిఐ రిపోర్ట్ సర్వర్ అన్నాను అనుకో, దాంట్లో ఏమేమి ఉండాలి నాకు?
Microsoft guys will install the Power BI report software on it. See, when you log in on the day, we have seen it, right? You are seeing the report and all those stuff on the browser. That complete software will be installed here. When you log into Power BI report server or Power BI service, you can't tell the difference. First of all, both are same.
Okay.
This is running on the Azure infrastructures, and this is running on your local on-prem machine.
ఓకే ఓకే
That's the only difference.
అంటే
So
దాని GUI వస్తుందా మళ్ళా పవర్ బిఐ రిపోర్ట్ సర్వర్ అనే దానికి ఇంటర్ఫేస్
same thing.
ఓకే
App.powerbi.com, you go to this service, right? Instead,
Ah.
you'll go here, your company name dot report server.com something.
ఓకే ఓకే
That's it. The only difference is if there is a banking client, or if some client doesn't want their data to publish to online. This is
Mhm.
external to the company, right?
రైట్ యా
If that kind of restrictions are there, then they will go with this. Why? Because this is because this is an extra maintenance.
ఓకే
It's extra maintenance, and admin has to be there, and it will use the fan in the infra room, everything, right? This
దే
is
యూస్ పవర్ బిఐ సర్వీస్
the most updated version is to use the cloud version,
ఓకే ఓకే
but the old way is this.
ఓకే ఓకే
Okay, basically both features wise, and the look and feel wise, and the reports wise, access wise, every wise, both are same. It's just
Okay.
that whether that is installed on your on-premise machines or it's
Mhm.
hosted on the cloud. That's the only difference.
ఓకే ఓకే
So same like you can install your web server on your machine, right? Or you
Right.
can host it on some GoDaddy or somewhere.
అంటే ఒక్కొక్క పీబీఎక్స్ ఫైల్ ఎంత సైజ్ ఉంటుంది అంటే మనం ఇంత సర్వర్ మెయింటైన్ చేసి ఇంత స్టోర్ చేసి అన్ని
Interesting question. So it's not about the size. In regular sites, it's a HTML size something, but here there are two things. Not only size, the amount of data also. For example, whenever you are running a report, when a browser is accessing the report, so user, it might be morning I shared a report, right? It's so complicated. There are 15-20 tabs, and there will be a 5 to 6 years of data in that dashboard. Every time it might not go to the database. That data will be loaded here. So I was saying, right, in the free version, the limit of the Power BI file is only 1 GB.
ఓకే
So why 1 GB is, generally the reports which we develop is more than 1 GB. So if you are seeing any analysis on the report which has the data of last 5 years, it will be more than 1 GB.
Correct.
On the browser, wherever you are seeing that when you change 2021 to 2022, all the values will change, right? It has all the data inside of it.
ఓకే ఓకే
Yeah, so it's not just the visual HTML size of it, including with the data.
ఓకే
So if a company has 1,000 reports, on an average, if you take 500 MB for each report, so you got their 500 GB already.
రైట్ యా
Yeah, that's why this is high, very tough to maintain. This will scale up. So this premium will scale up. This embedded will scale up, which is within just one click, we can actually increase the size, but they will charge us also like that.
కరెక్ట్ ఓకే
Yeah.
ఇట్ విల్ గో బియాండ్ ద ఫ్రీ స్పేస్ అంతే
Yeah.
కదా
Yes. So in the free it is 1 GB, but in here it's I guess 100 GB or something, where that much big reports we don't do.
ఓకే ఓకే
Okay.
అంటే మనం స్పీడీగా మనకి రిపోర్ట్ జనరేట్ అవ్వడానికి మనం డేటాని కూడా హోస్టింగ్ ఏరియాలోనే తెచ్చిపెట్టుకుంటాం బట్ ఇప్పుడు నీ క్వరీ చేంజ్ అవుతున్నప్పుడు అంటే సపోజ్ అక్కడ ఏదో క్లిక్ చేసినావు ఫిల్టర్స్ ఉన్నాయి ఫిల్టర్స్ లో నాకు మ్యాక్స్ పాపులేషన్ కావాలి ఒక స్టేట్ లో తర్వాత స్టేట్ క్లిక్ చేస్తా ఉన్నా డేటా చేంజ్ అవుతా ఉంటది సో అప్పుడు ఆ డేటా అంతా తెచ్చుకోవడం అంటే నువ్వు ఓన్లీ ఫ్లోరిడా పాపులేషన్ అన్నప్పుడు ఫ్లోరిడా పాపులేషన్ డేటా తీసుకొచ్చి నువ్వు హోస్టింగ్ స్పేస్ లో పెట్టుకున్నావు బట్ నువ్వు అక్కడ ఆప్షన్స్ నాకు వేరే స్టేట్స్ కూడా ఇచ్చావు అనుకో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ సో అప్పుడు నేను మళ్ళీ డేటాబేస్ నుంచి డేటా పుల్ చేసుకోవాల్సిందే కదా
లేదు actually whatever you are seeing on the drop down, all the data is inside that browser itself. Why? Because it's unrealistic for an application to always go back to database and come back to here. It will take a lot of time. See, if it's a website, once you click a link, how much KB of data you are getting from the server? It's very less. Even in that case, generally website loads 80% of the data already. Most of the things what you click.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So only things which are in dynamic nature, it waits for your click.
ఓకే, ఇప్పుడు బ్రౌజర్ లో ఈ రిపోర్ట్ ఎంబెడ్ అయి ఉన్నది. ఓకే, బ్రౌజర్ లో యూజ్ చేస్తున్నారు. బ్రౌజర్ లో యూజ్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు ఎలాంటి ఏదైనా సిచ్యుయేషన్ ఉంటుందా? మళ్ళీ డేటాబేస్ కి వెళ్ళి మళ్ళీ డేటా పుల్ తీసుకునే అవసరం?
See, so actual data ఎక్కడ ఉంది? ఇక్కడ ఉంది.
డేటాబేస్ లో
ఇక్కడ ఉంది. ఇక్కడ ఉంది. రిపోర్ట్ ఎక్కడ ఉంది? ఇక్కడ ఉంది. ఓకే,
పవర్ బిఐ సార్.
టర్న్ అరౌండ్ ఇక్కడ ఏదని అనుకుందాం. టర్న్ అరౌండ్ టైం ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ బ్రౌజర్ టు దిస్ ఈజ్ ఈజీ. ఓకే, బట్ టర్న్ అరౌండ్ టైం ఫ్రమ్ బ్రౌజర్ టు this one via this one is complicated, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's the reason report is in here, not here. All the data is imported here based on the report definition.
Okay.
Then your selections, your drop downs, your tabs, everything will be faster.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah, but there is a catch here. So when we are refreshing the data once a day, generally that is the case 99% of the times. Why? Because if you are observing a sales for last year and this year and last month and this month, this day sales will not change, right? I mean, it doesn't matter for you basically. So most of the BI requirements, it doesn't matter what happens in the last second or last hour or last day even.
Okay.
So that's the reason from the ages we refresh the data once a day. That's a industry standard everywhere.
Okay.
Even in the Power BI report, the report will refresh the data in once a day. Okay. But if there are any real-time requirements, for example, there is an operational report. So an operational person is watching that report. So immediately a person is logged into the system and you want to see how many people are currently logged in the system. Okay. That's not a general BI use cases. Rare use cases. If at all the live data is required, then we directly connect to cloud. That kind of connection is called live connection.
Okay. From browser, directly from browser.
Yeah, even at that time, the browser is reaching to cloud database via Power BI server only. Okay. But if you make a live connection, that data's designing of that Power BI report will be so lean. You will be just accessing one table or something like that. If you have 1 GB, 2 GB of heavy dashboards and live connections, it will not work. The moment you click drop down and select Florida, it will take 5 minutes and it will show up the dashboard. Again, you change from Florida to New Jersey. Again, it will load for 5 minutes and it will show. So that user experience, no one will encourage, right? So that live connection is very rare. That only specific cases will do. But in general, this is called import. We import the data of a database into the Power BI service, and that will be used for the reporting.
Okay, ఇదంతా PBX ఫైల్ లో ఉంటుంది. మనం
yes, PBX file లో ఉంటుంది. PBX file లో ఉంటుంది. So when you download your PBX file from the desktop also, sometimes it will be more than 5 GB, 10 GB also.
Okay. Just PBX.
But nowadays no one is using this. This is report server.
Okay.
Previously 5-6 years back people used to use it, but now everyone is using Power BI service.
Okay.
The cloud is more latest and upgrades and maintenance is free, all those stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Any other questions? So once the reports are published, every day data will refresh, or depending on what is the frequency, and you are accessing the latest data via this report, based on this report definition. Okay.
Published report definition. Huh?
Yes, published report definition. So in some reporting tools, this publishing concept will not be there. So Microsoft works like a file architecture, maybe because of their .NET or something. I'm not sure. But if you go to MicroStrategy, this works differently. There is no hosting concept there. The development and the access, everything inside the MicroStrategy server, basically. But here, while you are developing on the file. And when you publish, that's live. And 10 people can work on the same file simultaneously. Whoever publishes this file latest, their tools will be here, something like that.
Okay.
Any other questions? So, but end to end, you understood the flow, right? See, for any report, it has to access the data. Okay. And in between the report comes. So you will develop a report in these two places and publish. For the publishing also, you have two places. And you can access via either mobile or browser based on the design of the dashboards. And if it is an on-prem dashboard dataset, you should install Power BI Gateway. And for Power BI service, you have a couple of various packages. This we call as capacity, various capacities for sharing. If it is not for sharing, you can just use for your purpose here.
On-prem database ki Power BI gateway nunchi Power BI service ki data flow untada.
Yes. If it is a Power BI service, it's on Azure cloud. Okay. So your database, on-prem database, is not exposed to external location, right? How it is reachable to the Azure. So to make it reachable, basically we have to install Power BI Gateway software on this server.
Okay.
So that will make it visible.
Okay. అర్థమైంది. API లాగా డైరెక్ట్ గా డేటాబేస్ కి యాక్సెస్ లేకుండా మధ్యలో. ఓకే. సో అంటే ఇప్పుడు మరి పవర్ బిఐ గేట్వే తోటి పవర్ బిఐ సర్వీస్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ ఏదైనా సపరేట్ దానికి ఒక ఆ రెండింటికి మాత్రమే అర్థమయ్యే
ఎన్క్రిప్షన్ ఉంటుంది.
ఓకే. డేటా రిక్వెస్ట్ చేయాలంటే అది మనకు కనబడదు అనుకుంటా కదా, లైక్ బిహైండ్ ద సీన్స్ అయిపోతుంది కదా అది కూడా.
అవును. ఈ పవర్ బిఐ గేట్వే అనేది పవర్ బిఐ చేస్తున్నాం కూడా పవర్ బిఐ గేట్వే అంటున్నాం, కానీ ఇట్స్ ఏ జనరలైజ్డ్ కాన్సెప్ట్. డేటా ఫ్యాక్టరీ ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ రన్ టైం అంటాం. ఇన్ ద సేమ్ వే ఈ క్లౌడ్ ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ లో వేర్ అజ్యూర్, AWS సర్వీసెస్ ఆర్ దేర్, whenever there comes a requirement to communicate that online service to the on-prem thing, there has to be a gateway.
Okay. డైరెక్ట్ డేటాను యాక్సెస్ చేయకుండా మధ్యలో ఒక
No, you can't access, right? No, you can't access at all. Why? Because this is not visible outside. Whatever you are inside your network is not visible outside. That's why we call this as a gateway. So once we install this, we make sure this is visible to intended party, basically.
Okay.
Something like opening your portal.
అంతే అర్థమైంది. అది ల్యాండ్ లో ఉంటది కాబట్టి, ప్రైవేట్ ల్యాండ్ లాగా ఉంటది కాబట్టి మనం డైరెక్ట్ గా దానికి యాక్సెస్ ఉండదు కాబట్టి, ఫైర్ యాక్సెస్ ఉండదు కాబట్టి ఒక సెపరేట్ అప్లికేషన్ పెట్టుకుంటాం. అందులో ఒక పోర్ట్
to make that automated and seamless, they release this software. Basically it does its own work seamlessly instead of again investigating all those stuff. Basically that's it.
ఓకే. యాజ్ ఎ పవర్ బిఐ డెవలపర్ మనము దాని గురించి, ఆ కమ్యూనికేషన్ గురించి డీటెయిల్ గా తెలుసుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం ఉంటుందా? జస్ట్ పైన ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ చేయాలా?
లేదు, అడ్మిన్ ఆల్రెడీ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసి ఉంటాడు.
ఓకే.
పవర్ బిఐ అడ్మిన్ కంటే ముందు ఇన్ఫ్రా అడ్మిన్ చేసి ఉంటాడు.
ఓకే.
సో పవర్ బిఐ అడ్మిన్ mostly he looks into access, okay, and maintaining these workspaces capacity, and organizing the reports in here, access and stuff.
Okay.
Those kind of, and migrating the reports from various environments,
Okay.
that kind of stuff. Maybe
Okay.
initially he might have set this up, or admin can set this up. That's okay. But Power BI developer major work is daily developing this,
Okay.
and once approved, publishing it.
Okay. Okay.
Any more questions?
I'm good.
Okay, Kalyan, you questions on here?
లేదన్నా లేదు.
Okay, fine then. So it's a short class today. We'll connect again on Monday then.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, see you guys.
Yeah.
నువ్వు కాల్ చేయరా?
గుడ్ నైట్ అన్నా.
గుడ్ నైట్.